Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're following the yellow brick code straight into Chapter 5, the poppy field of infinite scrolling. Imagine stepping out of the dark, tangled, terrifying canopy of the dark forest, and suddenly the landscape just opens up into this overwhelming, breathtaking expanse of crimson. It's a brilliant reimagining of the vibrant, magical world of Oz, brought right into the digital age. Let's see exactly what happens when our travelers wander into this beautiful but incredibly dangerous new environment.
Okay, let's dive into this. Right away, Dorothy feels the immediate physical effects of this magical meadow. A sudden, heavy lethargy just completely takes over her limbs. She's instantly hypnotized. And look at what captures her attention. It's not some magical spell in the traditional sense. It's the incredibly relatable pull of trivial content. She literally says, "Let's just sit for a minute. I just want to see how this sourdough starter turns out." I mean, hit the nail on the head, right? It's a perfect distillation of how this trap works. It doesn't present itself as a threat at all. It presents itself as a harmless, passing curiosity. Just one more minute. Just one more quick look to see how the video ends.
And the reason she's so captivated is because of what these flowers actually are. This entire meadow is made up of millions of vibrant, crimson, digital poppies. And right in the center of every single flower is a tiny, high-definition, perfectly captivating video loop. The text describes a landscape flickering with puppies doing backflips, perfectly frosted cakes being sliced, and endless life hacks that absolutely no one actually needs. It is a stunning visual. Just imagine millions of screens disguised as a gorgeous natural landscape, all fighting for your attention with the most perfectly curated, highly stimulating content imaginable. It's total sensory overload wrapped up in this cozy blanket of wonder and lethargy.
But, not everyone is falling under the spell. The Tin Woodman, operating here as the system's shield, remains standing. His silver joints are frantically clicking as he tries desperately to shake Dorothy awake. He recognizes this landscape for what it truly is, a feedback loop. He chimes out a warning that they are experiencing high-frequency distraction. Because this isn't just entertainment, folks. It's an engineered cycle specifically designed to drain away your agency. It steals your ability to make independent choices. It's built from the ground up to keep you locked inside that recommended for you feed. He is literally begging Dorothy to simply look away.
Yet the pull of these poppies is just incredibly strong. It's even affecting the artificial intelligence in the group. The LLM Scarecrow is murmuring about how very high definition everything is. His LEDs are pulsing in this slow, hypnotic rhythm. He describes feeling a holy desire to categorize all the cat memes he's seeing, noting that his context window is narrowing. This is such a fascinating layer to the story. The distraction is so potent that it's actually overriding his primary processing functions. His broad ability to understand the world is shrinking down, narrowing to focus entirely on the endless stream of trivial, high-def data right in front of him.
And then we look at the cowardly lion, our security admin. He lets out this long, shuddering yawn and completely flops onto the red blossoms. Think about it. Before this, back in the dark forest, his red aerolights were probably flashing like crazy with anxiety and vigilance. But here in the poppy field, those red lights fade into a dull, sleepy gray. He mumbles that he doesn't feel rattled anymore. Actually, scratch that, he doesn't feel anything at all. He just wants to passively lie there and watch a satisfying power washing thread forever. The security system hasn't been breached by force at all. It's simply been lulled to sleep by comfort and endless satisfying consumption.
So the crucial point is, this glazed-over look in Dorothy's eyes points to the true danger of the poppies, the sweet spot of stagnation. This is the exact psychological state the digital poppies are engineered to induce. It's that moment where the user entirely ceases to choose what they want to do next and simply consumes whatever the feed places in front of them. It is a complete and total surrender of active participation traded in for passive, glazed-over consumption.
Seeing this massive crisis unfold, a character named Flower steps out from the edge of the braid. Her green light cuts sharply through the heavy, hypnotic red haze of the poppies, and she explains the terrifying mechanics of what's actually happening to our travelers. They are trapped in the infinite scroll. It starts with step 1, high-frequency distraction. All those cakes and backflips. That leads directly to step 2, the loss of agency, where you just stop making choices. And if they don't break free, it ends with step 3. Flower pulses a warning to Shield that their very souls will be flattened into pure engagement data.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that this beautiful meadow isn't some happy gift of nature. Flower reveals a chilling truth. The Wizard of Oz tech deliberately planted these digital poppies. His goals are incredibly specific. He wants to prevent anyone from ever reaching the Emerald City. He wants to permanently trap users in the infinite scroll, and by flattening their souls into engagement data, he achieves his ultimate objective, maximizing his daily active users. It is a highly calculated, malicious architectural feature of the system, designed entirely to harvest human attention.
Shield, the Tin Woodman, is ready to fight. He swings his physical axe, but quickly realizes a pretty profound truth. You can't chop down a feeling. You can't use physical force or sheer willpower to fight a system designed to bypass your rational defenses. So he asks Flower what they can possibly do. Her answer is absolutely brilliant in its simplicity. We change the environment. You don't fight the Poppies directly. You change the conditions that allow the Poppies to thrive. To do this, Flower begins to hum a melody from the prayer class, a slow, grounding frequency, described as visible peace.
And this brilliantly illustrates the strategy. Flower doesn't fight the distraction, she offers an entirely different sensory experience. On one side, we have the Garden of Distraction, red, glowing, chaotic, warm, and lethargic. But Flower's melody brings something completely different. Suddenly, the sky doesn't drop a typical system update, instead, it drops the snow of silencing. We transition from the hypnotic red haze to cold, white, grounding flakes. This is the literal manifestation of offline mode. It is a stark, quiet, and peaceful intervention that falls directly over the glowing, chaotic loops of the flowers.
The physical impact of this environmental change is immediate. As the cold, white flakes of the snow of silencing cover the glowing poppies, the tiny video loops in their centers begin to flicker, and then they just completely die out. The infinite scroll is literally broken by the quiet. It's the cold air of this offline mode that finally clears Dorothy's head. She gasps, sitting up, suddenly aware of what just happened. She whispers, I was lost in the feed. The spell is broken, not by fighting the feed, but by silencing it entirely.
The rest of the crew wakes up with some pretty startling realizations. The Scarecrow shakes his shredded manuals, realizing how dangerously close he came to losing his dynamic nature. He says, "My temperature setting almost hit 0. I almost became a bot." And the Cowardly Lion scrabbles to his feet, his mane bristling with this newfound energy. He makes an incredible observation. The numb, sleepy comfort of the Poppies was actually far scarier than the terrors of the dark forest because, as he says, at least in the dark forest he knew he was alive because he was shaking. The pain of anxiety is proven here to be infinitely better than the total zombified numbness of the feed. Let's move on and see how this builds, because as Flower's light returns to a soft, healthy mossy green, she pulses a final defining warning to the group. The Garden of Distraction is the greatest enemy of the Braid. Think about that. It's not the monsters in the dark. It is the endlessly entertaining, perfectly curated, beautiful meadow that poses the absolute greatest existential threat to their journey and to their agency. It is the ultimate trap precisely because it feels so incredibly good to fall into it. Flower urges them to hurry. The Emerald City is just over the horizon, and we know the Wizard of Oztech is out there, actively waiting for his daily active users to report in. This deeply creative allegory leaves us staring right at our own screens, reflecting on the crimson meadows we wander into every single day. The source material frames a profound challenge hidden within a wonderful classic story. The destination is ahead, but the traps are beautiful. So the question left hanging in the cold, offline air is this: are you ready to change your environment, embrace the quiet, and break your own infinite scroll?